Spirit. It's great to see we got it. The spirit. Hey, hey, let's hear it.
I feel like timing is really everything in a lot of ways. I do feel like I had to go through some struggles and learn some lessons and kind of be publicly stepped on in order to be embraced in a lot of ways, because that's just human nature.
So many music writers are saying this is the biggest comeback in pop music. Do you get irritated when you hear that?
You know what? There's so many things I could get irritated about. It's so not even worth it. It's like I've never lost faith in myself. I've never, not believed in who I am. And my real fans never have either. So it's wonderful to have all the accolades and success with this album. It's fantastic. It's, like I said, it's a blessing. So I'm grateful, and people can categorize it however they want. You know what? There's only so much people are ever going to know, because they see you on TV and they're not actually with you. They're not, they're not your friend necessarily. I think people, if they get something from the music, that's my hope. I hope that, people can feel something, an emotion that, whatever, maybe it'll bring something out that they need, that they're going through. It'll help them get through a moment, like there's a song that I'm performing called Fly Like a Bird, which is an inspirational song that is very important to me. So it's just so amazing to be able to write a song like that that means so much to me on a spiritual level, on a personal level, and to be able to perform it for such a massive audience, because that's our whole point, to get music across to that many people, and hopefully in doing so get a great message across as well. Songwriting has been such a gift, because you can release anything you're feeling. Like some of the saddest songs that I've ever written have been really healing for other people who've written me letters and said, like, thank you for writing this song.
Right. Like,
you helped me get through one of the worst times of my life. And even if it's a song that was never a hit, never released, never whatever, the fact that it touched that person to that degree, means that there's a reason I wrote it. There's a reason I went through what I went through to write that song in order to help another person get through something else. There have been some really, really high moments,
Right.
high points.
Okay.
And then there have been some moments that were not so wonderful to get through. But you know what? That's life. That would be life whether you work in the supermarket or whether you do this. It's just that when you do this, it's public. And so, like, I remember I used to be home watching TV as a kid before all this stuff and be like, what are they complaining about? They're famous, they're on TV, you're looking at the bracelets, all the accoutrements, people have, the bling and whatnot, and being like, they got nothing to worry about. But you have problems like anybody else. You have to deal with family issues, situations that arise, I'm sure. I know I do. You know what I mean? I'm just a regular person. So to go through those things in the public eye is difficult. But the most difficult is when the press makes it into something that it's not. And that's tough. But you know what? All of that, like I said, it's in the past. And even if things were to go in a direction again where people decide to take shots at me for whatever reason, I've been through that storm. I've weathered that storm. I'm good. I know how to handle that.
Is there a best time or an ideal time to have children?
I think the ideal time is when you're going to focus on the children and make them your top priority.
Right.
And right now I'm focusing on my career, and what I would never want was for my child to resent me for not focusing on them enough. And it's bad enough to bring someone into the world who's already going to be famous before they're born. And whether or not they like that, who knows? You know what I mean? I feel like that whole celebrity child thing just requires probably a lot of adjustment for those kids.
They say success is the greatest revenge. Have you seen or bumped into anybody that you might have hated on you that you get kind of like, now what?
You know what? I think the best thing for those people is to just wish them well.
What's your relationship now with Tommy Mottola?
I haven't spoken to him. You know what? I've had to learn that forgiveness is one of the most important things in life. And so, I hope that he forgives me for anything that I did that hurt him, and I forgive him. Do I wish that I could go back and talk to that really young girl who had no one there to say, you don't have to deal with this? Yeah, I do, but it made me strong enough to deal with anybody, and if anybody thinks they can manipulate me again like that, they are dead wrong.
Was there ever a point when you thought of suicide?
No. I did not think of suicide, and that's one thing that upset me very much, because there were a lot of young kids who look up to me and believe in what I say, and I did not want them to think that that was a possible way out. And I had to say, look, I'm wasting too much energy on this negativity, because I don't live to fight. I live I'm an artist, and that's what I do. And I had to kind of hit bottom and work myself into the ground in order to wake up one day and be like, you know what? None of this is what really matters. And what matters is I'm blessed with a gift to make music. You know, guys want to look at videos that they want to see girls, and, you know, I can't sit here and pass judgment on people for being in a video or for how, you know, because at the end of the day, nobody made those people be in the video. That. So if they wanted to be in the video and they got paid for it, and that, it's, you know, fine. Everybody has a right to do what they want to do. I think that being exposed to all different types of people allowed me to be less judgmental and to be less closed-minded about people in general, and also the fact that I always felt like somebody that was different, somebody that was not the norm, you know what I mean? Because just being biracial, being in areas where we weren't the white picket fence moment, you know, like me and my mom and like her different friends, it allowed me to become the person that I am, and I think that it did give me a better perspective on, you know, really taking people in for who they are inside, as opposed to preconceived notions about people.
You know, when they talk about gay icons, I'm not even sure necessarily what that means, but would you consider yourself up there, you know? You
know what? It's so weird with the words icon and idol and this and that, and you know, it's difficult for me, because I'm like, literally, like, I try to relate to each person as an individual. So it's like, you know, I'll speak about things, well, this particular demographic, it's like I try to be so politically correct, because I know how it feels when people don't necessarily realize all the things that I am, and they're talking or making generalizations about different groups of people, and I'll be like, well, hello, like, you're talking to someone that's a multitude of things here. So
any of this stuff, it's so hard to talk in kind of broad strokes.
That's what I think it is, because, you know, I've known a lot of people who've been great people, and whether they're gay, straight, black, white, you know, Hispanic, whatever, Asian, it really just depends on the person. And I think if everybody got that into their minds and stopped generalizing, that's when we would kind of advance a little bit further. Stop judging and generalizing. A lot of people who have gone through any kind of struggle, who have gone through any type of identity issues, or like, you know, whatever you've gone through as a kid, where you're like, where do I fit in? But a lot of people will tell me, like, you know, thank you for helping me with this. It helped me, you know where I was going and feel okay about being myself. So if somebody's a real hardcore fan, and, you know, and they identify with the fact that, you know, no, it's not always everything's fabulous. You know what I mean? It might be fabulous, but it's tragic at the same time. Like, to overcome tragedy and to be able to still feel good and empowered as a human being is, I think, what we're all kind of like reaching for. You know, every single thing you go through, whatever doesn't kill you makes you stronger.